What if I told you that in the streets of 19th century New Orleans lived a woman so feared that powerful politicians, ruthless criminals, and even law enforcement walked cautiously in her shadow, yet no one could prove she ever broke a law? Tonight, you are about to step into the world of Marie Laveau, the Voodoo queen whose name is whispered with reverence, dread, and curiosity even centuries after her death. A woman who seemed to navigate the thin line between legend and reality so perfectly that people never knew where belief ended and fact began. Born in a city rife with disease, racial tension, and superstition, Marie grew up observing a society in which power rarely belonged to women, yet somehow she ascended above her circumstances, becoming the most influential figure in New Orleans' underworld and elite circles alike, not by force, but by an intelligence and social acumen that left her contemporaries both captivated and terrified. By day, she appeared to be a modest Creole woman, offering her services as a hairdresser, gaining access to the inner chambers of wealthy households, silently listening as secrets, betrayals, and fears were whispered to her. Secrets that could later shape fortunes, destroy alliances, or seal destinies. By night, however, Marie Laveau became something entirely different. She presided over ritual gatherings in Congo Square, a place alive with drumming, candlelight, and ceremony, where people claimed they felt her presence bend the invisible forces around them. Though she never performed overt miracles, her power lay in perception, fear, and timing, a mastery of psychological influence that seems almost supernatural in hindsight. Stories abound of her influencing love, revenge, and fate. Enemies would suddenly fall ill, relationships would dissolve, fortunes would vanish, and yet no one could trace these occurrences to her hands, leaving only the whisper of her involvement, a subtle reminder that Marie Laveau's reach was longer than any city ordinance. Even when she faced legal scrutiny, those who tried to charge or confront her mysteriously faltered. Paperwork disappeared, witnesses vanished, and officers changed their testimony, which led many to believe that her authority extended beyond mere rumor, that somehow she had learned to navigate fear itself and bend the will of those who thought they held power. Rumors flourished that she kept jars filled with hair, bones, and earth from graves, and that her long, loose hair and quiet gaze could pierce the soul. Yet perhaps the most unsettling aspect was her restraint. Unlike the exaggerated tales told around fires, Marie wielded her influence with a precise, measured control, using psychology, observation, and the human instinct for fear as her primary tools, not theatrics. And then there is the story of her daughter. Many swore that after Marie's death, her presence was still seen in the streets, in homes, even near the very cemeteries where she had walked, as if she had passed her secrets along, or perhaps had discovered a way to remain untouchable beyond mortality. Today, her tomb in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 is visited by thousands who leave offerings, whisper prayers, and claim that wishes came true, while others report an inexplicable sensation of being watched or guided as they leave, suggesting that her legacy was less about magic and more about the haunting persistence of influence, the invisible threads she wove across a city and its people. Skeptics will argue that Marie Laveau was simply a master manipulator, a woman who understood human psychology better than anyone around her, who used observation, secrecy, and fear to protect herself and expand her sphere of control. And yet even skeptics struggle to explain the patterns of coincidence, the fulfilled curses, and the inexplicable timing of her interventions, which continued even after her death. Some witnesses spoke of seeing spirits bow in her presence, of snakes obeying her calm gestures, or of glimpses of the future revealed in her eyes. But these accounts, though extraordinary, were never documented scientifically. What remains undeniable is the consistency of reports. Those who crossed her or doubted her often faced consequences that seemed beyond mere chance. In understanding Marie Laveau, one realizes that fear and respect are not conjured, they are cultivated, and in her case, they were maintained with an exacting precision that turned whispers into law, rumor into reality, and belief into a form of power more tangible than swords or gavel. From her early life, watching New Orleans decay under epidemics, poverty, and inequality, to her rise as a figure who could sway elites and protect the marginalized, she mastered the art of presence, timing, and psychological persuasion, creating a legacy where every glance, gesture, and word carried weight. The terror of her influence lies not in the supernatural alone, but in the inescapable fact that she understood people, how they think, what they fear, what they desire, and she leveraged that knowledge in ways both subtle and devastating, making her name synonymous with a kind of power no one could oppose openly. And yet, for all her fearsome reputation, there was a code, a precision to her actions. She did not harm indiscriminately. She did not flaunt her authority unnecessarily. She preserved a balance between terror and trust, creating a network of loyalty, secrecy, and influence that was virtually untouchable. Today, historians and enthusiasts alike debate endlessly about the real Marie Laveau. Was she a practitioner of mystical arts, or simply a woman whose intelligence, observation, and timing created the illusion of the supernatural? The city itself remembers her, in the stories, in the tomb, in the lingering atmosphere of New Orleans' French Quarter, where the line between reality and legend is thin and often invisible. And perhaps the most unsettling question remains as you walk through these streets or gaze upon her grave. Did she wield forces beyond human understanding, or was her true power the quiet command of attention, fear, and belief, a lesson in how one person's presence could shape the lives of thousands? Because in the end, legends fade, but influence, carefully cultivated and feared, does not. It persists, unseen, in the minds and hearts of those who remember. If mysteries like this fascinate you, don't forget to like, subscribe for more dark, untold stories, and comment below. Do you believe Marie Laveau's power was real, or just a dangerous illusion?